Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our Power Six call tonight. I hope you enjoyed our music that should have energized you. You saw me getting down. I mean, it just really puts me in the right mood because you know what? On this call, we talk about winning and we come together so that we can get energized off of each other. We are learning from each other, we're pouring into each other. We want to see everybody on this call win. And so this is why we talk about subjects that will help you accelerate your business. I want to let you know in case you ever miss this call, if you don't see the recording, we have a YouTube channel. It's just in my name, Verdita Monk, and you will see all the recordings of all of our Power Six calls. We talked about things from the power of integrity. We talked about the missing ingredient, which is you, the power of the binary, the it factor, the power of a winning team, the mindset of a winner, bread and butter, that's our residual income. And last but not least, we talked a week ago about the 90-day run. And see, the 90-day run, what has been happening since May the 1st, many of us have decided to be accountable to each other every single week, same time every week, just to go over what our goals are, just being accountable to someone to say, this is what I'm going to do this week. This is what I've done. The next, once you've done that, how's it looking for you to get toward your goals? Because why? We're very, very serious that by the end of this 90-day period, which will be July 31st in this scenario, we will have reached some significant goals. See, we want to see our team members, that means all of you, walk across the stage at our convention in Orlando. And the expectation is that you have reached that goal. And guess what? Every last one of you have stretched. You're not reaching a small goal. You are stretching for some big goals. And so that 90-day run is very, very significant because we're in the trenches. We're working. I have really enjoyed what I've seen happen. Big things are happening. I mean, we're reaching, for some reason, this process has elevated and stretched people's mind till they're bringing on people that were senior vice presidents at other companies or people that are over all these different organizations in their cities. We're attracting like-minded people because guess what? Our minds are being elevated as we continue to go through this process, correct? Our mind is stretching. We're developing winning attitude. We're developing confidence, and therefore we are attracting who we are and what we expect our team to be. So I'm telling you, the whole process is working. The fact that we're meeting each other every week is a big asset as well. So let me just really quickly review the something about the 90-day run, because tonight's subject is not the 90-day run, but I just want to review a couple of things we talked about in the 90-day run. Is that, and when we got started, we talked about, we wanted to identify who wants it. First of all, what do we want to reach, but who also wants it besides us? In other words, who's like-minded, who wants to win? Find out who wanted it badly. We identified those people and we asked them if they're willing to do the work, which is basically, making sure that the newer partners are doing their launch calls, because so many people are joining. And then, you get all excited. Oh, these people on my team brought all these new people in, but then nobody is doing what needs to be done with those new partners. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. And then we go on to say, we're establishing this call, and the expectation is, let me go down here. That if a person just got started, literally, there is no reason a brand new person should not hit manager. I believe there's a gentleman on the call right now that just got started Monday, literally, and he's almost manager already. And so, in other words, it doesn't take the whole month of May for a person to reach manager. In other words, you're going to have a head start if you hit it in 1 week, because the next month, all you got to do is help 2 people do what you just did. And that means help 2 people out of the ones you brought on board to get to manager. Make sure you got your 6, which the Power 6 talks about that all the time anyway. Make sure you got your 6, 3 on your left, 3 on your right, so that you have qualified director, but make sure you don't leave those, at least 2 people, the 2 people, don't leave them behind. And that will help you get to director. And then the 3rd month, help those managers that you just developed get to director. Very simple. If you got to director your second month, don't you think they could get to director their second month? And all you got to do is make sure the volume. So with that being the case, we're really excited about this 90-day run. Now, let me get to the subject at hand for tonight. And what we're going to be talking about tonight, let me, y'all, there's some technical things are going on here. Some technical things are going on my screen. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about tonight is the importance of tap rooting. And that's what I was alluding to a little earlier when I was saying, I really want to put focus on the people that just got started. See, think about this. I've always heard this in network marketing. If you want to get energized, go enroll you another person. But see, when you've been in the business for a long time, sometimes we've exhausted our list and we have to rely now on cold market. Nothing wrong with that. But the people that can access their warm market and they're excited, those are the people that are the lifeblood of the business. So tap rooting is basically when you reach down into your downline and connect with, coach, and mentor those on your team in addition to your direct reports. So because see, most people have fallen accidentally into leadership by joining their network marketing company. So understanding this is very important for your long-term success. I repeat that. Many people have fallen accidentally into leadership, meaning they hit a rank by accident. They didn't really know what they were doing. So they may not understand the science behind network marketing, and that is tap rooting is a very important aspect. So I want to review this real quick in case we have some new people on the call. Now, I don't have the right names right here because you see it says silver, but this is the schematic of what it looks to be manager. See, this is what, because I want you to see what I'm getting to when I say tap rooting. If this is what you want to do right away, come in and bring in two packages, whether it's a core, advanced, premium on your left and two on your right. That's the first step. Then the next step is to make sure you complete this structure to get to director. Notice you still in this case, you've only got 3 that you personally enroll on your left and 3 on the right, but one of those on the left is a manager and one of the right is a manager. So in other words, you have to have those managers on opposite sides of your binary in order to be director. Now, what happens now, you take that manager and help them get director. Yeah, you might have enrolled 20 people, but you got to make sure that you got the right 6, because that's all we talk about in the Power 6. Get the right 6 solid, meaning you never ever have to worry about this person being on authorship. You never ever have to worry about them having at least 110 points. We prefer you have 2 sleeves or 154, but they must have 110 points and that they are on authorship, because once again, they cannot earn money if they're not on authorship. But guess what? You are not going to be a director if any one of these people in this whole structure, there's 3 on your left, 3 on your right, there's people all down, any single person on this chart that does not have their authorship in place. Now, everybody doesn't have to have 110 points, only those people who are your managers, but every single person on here has to be active. If not, you are not you're not a senior director. If any of these people down here are inactive, this person is not a manager, this person is not a manager, this person is not director. Do you see why it's so important to solidify? That's another thing we're talking about in our accountability call. So everybody on this call, whether you're accountable to me or someone else, it's good to be accountable, meaning you're intentionally doing certain things. We talked about in that book I shared with you called The Science of Getting Rich, that he talked about doing things in a certain way. The Power 6 is doing things in a certain way. Now let's talk a little bit about accountability. It's having a clear communication, a person having a clear communication with their sponsor, and it is important, but you have every right to work with anyone on your team, because if I enrolled, say Cindy, and Cindy enrolled Bob, and Bob enrolled Sandy, but for some reason, Bob and Cindy are not plugged in, or they're not focused, or they're not coachable, or any of those things, I have the right, because it's a team, right? We're a team. We're just reaching out to help everyone. That's called tap rooting. So great practice is to develop a system of utilizing a welcome call. When somebody comes on board, you make sure you teach your people to introduce, the person they enrolled to you, so that for some reason you're on vacation, you're out of the country, you're in the hospital, your work schedule does not permit for you to answer the phones all day long or whatever. That person knows you because you've been introduced to them. Okay. And so the welcome call is what you do as soon as they say, not every single person, let me make that clear. Every single person that joins the team is not the person you want to introduce to somebody above them, because you'll be introducing people all day long. What you're trying to do, let me clear something up on my screen here. What you want to do is introduce those people who say they want to earn money. You don't have to be accountable if you're just a customer, but you do want to be accountable if you are a brand partner that's trying to earn money. Now, always be in phase one. Phase one is when you're enrolling people. So when we're first building our business, it begins with prospecting. This is called phase one, and phase one never stops. We have a term in network marketing called always be closing. Always look for the next person, because you never know what could happen in a whole organization, a whole leg of organization could disappear for whatever reason. That leader may decide they want to go to another company, Lord God forbid, but you always want to be having your eye out for another person. So we're always leading by example and showing our team the activities that they should be doing on a consistent basis. Phase two is duplication. I like to call this making the organization grow. So, it's funny because most people who get involved in this industry hope their business will grow. Do you know anybody in your team to say they hope that their business grow? What we want to talk about is how to make it grow, and using this strategy. How would you like to be able to make your organization grow using the tap rooting system? So that's what we're going to talk about. So look at this diagram. I'm not very good on all these diagram things, so y'all excuse how messy it is, but let's say this is you, and all these bright yellow circles here represent you. I mean, these are people that you have personally enrolled. And then, for example, this person over here has personally enrolled this person in the white, and then this person in the white circle has enrolled these 4 people that are in the red. On this side, this person who was in the yellow has enrolled these green big circles, and then this one green circle has enrolled the 2 blue circles on the right. So by looking at this, and because I want to take tap rooting to a different level, not so much just okay, how do I say this? I want to take tap rooting to the level of continuing to move forward. So based on what you see here, can anybody you don't have to be able to say everything, but if there's anything you can contribute to so that we can kind of get engaged, what would be the next step on your part if you were to look and glance at your organization based on what I just said? What would you do to advance the growth of your organization? And why? Anybody, if you want to unmute yourself and share why you would do that. Nobody? Okay. Well, okay. Looks like Jewel is volunteering. Go ahead, Jewel.
I want to make sure I understand the question. So based on this format, what could we do to advance our organization?
To make it grow. To make it grow. With regard to tap rooting.
Well, you definitely want to make sure. Well, if the system's been worked the way you just described it, everyone's doing welcome calls for business partners. You want to be scheduling activity, because that's what's going to produce the results and income, is scheduling activity and work your way down through your organization. Because they say every time you go 4 levels deep, you're going to find a superstar. So that's part of tap rooting, just tapping down, finding out who they know and tapping into their warm market. So
Absolutely.
Not sure if that's what you're looking for, but looking at that diagram, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be contacting, this person who's sponsored by that person. This case, this person's not plugged in, and I'll be scheduling personal Zooms with that person, let them know that we're there for them. We have a interest in helping them grow and continuing the process.
Yes, that kind of communication is exactly what we're looking for. What I'm looking for specifically, and just by the way, somebody, I believe it's Alan, maybe accidentally is doing something to scratch on the screen. So please avoid scratching the writing on the screen. But see, tap rooting, what I'm referring to is this. Notice this is you're building, right? These are the people you brought on board. And this person right here has only enrolled one person, which is the person in white. That person is turned around and enroll 4 more people, but they're the red one. So yes, this person has probably hit manager, possibly if all 4 of those are cores, or because you can bring a person in with a starter kit. Maybe they order 1 sleeve, they can still show up in the binary, but just making sure. But the point I'm making is this person may have hit manager. Yes, you still want to plug in and reach out to that person, but think about how fast your organization can grow if each one of these people, as you said, Jewel, are contacted and you helping them get to manager. See, if you got to know the comp plan up front. You have to know the compensation plan. That's the reason if you know that it takes 4 people to get to manager, first of all, you're going to congratulate this person. And you're going to say, listen, let's get together and help these 4 people you just brought on board. Let's launch them. So here's what I want to, and okay, let me go to the other side, because this person has personally enrolled 3. They need 1 more person that they personally enroll just to get to manager. So you can encourage this person. This is how, if they know that there's 1 activity that could be done to get them to the next level, you say, you mean I just need 1 person? See, a lot of people, I've gone through the back office and seen people that brought in. I know somebody I know for a fact brought 10 people in, all on the same side of the binary. And it was too late to move them because, well, I guess if they paid the company a fee, $50 or something like that. But the point is, that should have been noticed. That should have been recognized by their upline. And I spoke with that person and they were very disappointed that they didn't know and nobody, told them. But so that's why we got to do a better job of following the volume, following who is generating the volume. So in this case, this person only needs 1 more person to be manager. That person might be really excited to know that. They may not know the comp plan. This person has already brought 2 people. And so guess what? We're going to take these 2 people, we're going to launch them. But here's how we're going to do it. Because if you go to these people and say, hey, do you want to make some money? Let me mute you out, Jewel. If you can mute yourself out, I'm hearing some noise on there. So if you go to these 4 people and say, do you want to make money? I don't know if that's necessarily going to excite them. You have to know the person. So what I encourage people to say is, so glad to have you on the team. I want to reach out to you and let you know that, you got a leadership team here that we're willing to help you. Are you enjoying the patch? Just some type of, questions to engage with them, and then say something like, who do you care about? Who in your family, based on what you've been exposed to, based on the testimonies you've heard, who do you want to share this with? How's your mom doing? And so what we're doing is building a list based on their who they care about. Everybody that's in here may have purchased a package does not mean they want to make money. I guarantee you put some people on here like a James Thompson. Him and his wife did not get in this business to make money, yet they've enrolled almost 100 people because of what it did to them, and they care about people. So sometimes it's a conversation that you're having that will make them move. So many people, Kelly Fowler, who was on this call, definitely did not get in this business to make money. She doesn't, she says that's not her motivation. Her motivation is helping people. And so you got to find out that's the first question. If you've done any accountability calls with me, the first question I ask you, what motivates you to win, or what motivates you to build this business? It could be leaving a legacy for your family. That's a big why. Because I want to stay home with my mom because she needs 24-hour care, but I have to pay somebody to come in if I'm working. There's different reasons, but you got to find that out. You got to relate to that person. And I found that those people are much more likely to, I'm gonna say it as a launch call, do a launch call than if you were just asking them, do you want to make money? Some people are retired and they're happy being retired. They don't want enough, they don't want to do anything else because they might relate this to doing a job. So hopefully that helps you all. But what I'm saying is, if you were to go to your back office and you see this person that you had, this is you, and you see all these people you enrolled, and you go and one of these people that you enroll, you look at their enroller tree, and there's a line that says total, let me see. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's going to tell you the total team count, or you know, it's saying how many people on your team. But you see the person is on. You also see a line that says personally enrolled. Well, if they've only enrolled one, but they got 5 on their team, what does that tell you? That means somebody else enrolled these 4, and so you just click on that person in the enrollment tree so to find out who those people are. There's another report. If you go to organization, go to reps, and then go to it's something to do with your personal line of sponsorship. It will bring up all the people in your organization that's in your organization, not in your binary, but all the people in your organization. And then there's a column, like if you wanted to see a person's phone number, you click, the column that has their last name or first name, you type it in that, it's a filter, put it in, I guarantee you it's going to show you their phone number. Okay, so you can find a person's phone number. That's what you were saying, Jewel. You don't have to go through every single person to get this person's phone number. But if you do reach out to this person and explain to them the potential of the growth, guarantee you these new people will get to manager much faster than, you know, a person who, you know, they're the last ones that just sign up. Think about it. What is the benefit of taprooting to get to the new blood? That's when a person first signs up. This person could have been in the business a year and only enroll one person. You will find many people that have been in this business 2 years that never signed a person up except for maybe one. And then all of a sudden this person comes on board. So the new blood are the most excited. That's why you want to go to them. Okay, because they're more energized now. So you want to dig deep into your genealogy report, like I just described, and this means you're keeping your eye on what's happening with your organization. And you want to look for pockets of activity, just like I showed you on the screen. Who's building their business? Who's rank advancing? You know, there's a report that tells you who, you know, the rank advances. These are questions you want to start asking yourself, okay? Now, if you see someone building and they're out of your money stream, you know what I mean by that. Let's say I got people, let's say some people on the team, many of you have hundreds of thousands of points, right? And you say, well, it doesn't really help me and work under that person because that's not paying me any money. That's not the kind of attitude you want to have. This is small thinking. Think about this. To get to senior director, you need 10,000 points. To get to executive director, you need 50,000 points. So whether you're getting a matching bonus on them or a binary commission, they still help generate your money. When you get to be an elite, or not elite, but when you get one day 600,000 points in your organization, that leadership bonus is based on certain things, and it's going to be based on the volume in your organization. So this beautiful compensation plan we have rewards you to help everybody. So don't look at it whether they're in your pay leg. I don't need to put nobody over there. I need to put them over here. Yes, you do, but you need to keep that structure together. So the action items that we can take away from tonight is study the comp plan, because you cannot call somebody up and say, hey, do you realize you got you got all this volume on this side, and do you realize and this is conversations I've had with people, do you realize if this person is active, this one person is active, that means 55 points, and you place one more sleeve, it's going to release you $600. I've had these kinds of conversations with people, but I can't say that if I don't know the comp plan. That's why, I mean, and I can't sit here and all day long, go with a comp plan, but it is, if you do it, if you take the time, it will all if the back office tells you what does it take to get this person a manager, but go a little step further. We have taken people, and any of you on this call, you know what I'm talking about. We call somebody up or we let somebody know, hey, do you realize you got all this volume sitting here? And do you know what you need to do to release that money? I got a person right now did not realize they have enough points. If you was divided by 660, she got something like 60,000 points. And I'm not talking about the same person I mentioned all the other time. I'm talking about a whole nother person that's only enrolled one person, but because she's never done anything and all this volume is sitting on one side, she's never worked a business, but she's ready now because we explained it to her. Master the welcome call. Make sure that when somebody joins, if they decide they want to earn money, introduce them to somebody so that they will never be hanging out there by themselves. This is why I tend to tap root, because there's so many people in between that are not helping their people. Master the reports in your back office. I mean, each one of those reports, it is a purpose. I guarantee you, LifeWave is not spending the money to get, data processing or whatever you call those people to do these reports if it was not going to be a value. I guarantee you it's a value, and they just enhance the back office again. So I know this is going to be a short call because I didn't want to spend a lot of your time tonight, but does anybody have any questions or comments about anything that, we can share about before we end this call?
I just wanted to say, Verdita, this is Kelly Fowler. Today we reactivated and re-energized someone and with the belief, because you broke these numbers down with the power of 6. So I just want to say I appreciate you. And really,
1 second, Derek. I think let me see. Can you mute yourself,
Yeah.
Derek? Because yeah, there you go. Kelly, you said because we re-energized the person, and what else?
and we just went through how we can maximize his comp plan with the power of 6. Sometimes, like what you were just reiterating, know the comp plan, know these numbers. And if we only are 10% successful in going down with the power of 6, it can be significant money, which can create some substantial changes in our lives. So I just want to thank you again. And it's just all about re-energizing. Get back in touch with some people who've been in your team, and maybe they've been inactive for a while. You never know what it's going to take. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, the person that you're referring to, Kelly, had been in over a year? Was it over a year or 2 years?
Yeah, over a year.
And very successful individual came in, well, they didn't come in with a diamond pack, but they did upgrade to the top package after they came out to an event, but they never really saw the money. They didn't really get it. And, but we knew how talented this person was. And we said, we can, we talked him into reactivate. You talked him into reactivating himself, and we could not sit there and let him continue only having enrolled 2 or 3 people when he's as sharp as a tack. So he's off the chain excited now, and it's going to be very coachable. And he says, I'm going to do this. So yeah, it helps to don't everybody in your back office is just look at them as a diamond in the rough, but you got to pull it out of them. You've been taught, you've been coached, you've been, all these, things we've talked about from week to week has prepared you to be able to, instill some type of, excitement in them by doing that. So thank you for sharing that and reminding me about that, Kelly. So I see that, Derek, you had unmuted yourself. What were you going to share? I know it was something powerful you were about to say.
Hey, Rita, can you hear me?
I surely can.
Yeah. Now, when you were sharing that graph with the tap routing, and that's very powerful. And one of the things I would do is work with the person from the bottom up, because if you work with the person, when you see the person that had those 4 people they enrolled, if you get those people rolling, what that does, the volume rolls upward, and the people that above them, if you notify them, and I think that I've seen that happen in my group where we had a person came in and they lit a fire 3 levels up between me and them, just because of what they were doing. So that it might be considered what you call fear of loss. People fear what they have to lose, and that motivates people sometimes more than what they have to gain. So yeah, when I see somebody like that, I reach out to them, have their launch right away, work on getting them moving fast because it does roll upward if you can find somebody. So I would encourage people to reach out and do that and let them know because a lot of times, like you said, some people don't realize they have, what's on their left or right side. So some of those things you have to make sure you share with them early so they understand the basics of the comp plan and getting to manage it. And but again, that tap routing is powerful. So
Mhm.
definitely going to use that more often.
Well, that's the beauty of the, thanks for pointing this out there, because that's the beauty of the binary. This is why so many people who really understand the binary, I've heard that the Asian ethnicity, they don't want to do a comp plan unless it's the binary, because they know that all the volume rolls all the way up. Whether they do
Mhm.
anything or not, as long as they stay active, that y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all see them millions of points in y'all's back office. So all right, thank you for reminding us of that, Derek. I saw
Mhm.
Erica McQueen. Erica, did you want to say something? I saw she
Hey,
had.
Verdita. Good evening, everyone. You know what? I was just talking to someone from my team about taprooting Verdita, and I was just telling them because, a lot of people believe that, once somebody goes dormant or they don't respond or they're just not they're not, you know, plugged in, that they're done. And that's not always the case. And I know that to be a fact because I have some people in my organization that are building right now. And some of them did not even, they signed up just on the strength of somebody else.
Mm,
And they really did not have any interest, I think, of even building. And they were thinking about it. They just didn't want to lose the opportunity when it was brought to them. So they signed up based on positioning. And then they decided because of their life or whatever was going on that they were busy. But these people are sharp people. So I'm not about to just forget about them, Verdita.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Oh, no, 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 because they are who they are and they've been who they are for a long time. They have a network, they have the energy when it's directed in the right way. And so I definitely want to stay connected to them. There's some of those people on this line right now, and they know that I'm talking about them. And you know what I always say? One of the things that you have to do is you have to maintain a good line of communication. And you do an excellent job at that, Verdita, of staying in good communication with them. And that does not mean just berating them with, oh my gosh, did you do this? Did you see this? Did this happened or whatever? I just call them to check on them, see how they're doing. And then throughout the conversation, something will emerge. I'll ask them, so how has the patch, are you still wearing your patch? Girl, I ain't wearing that patch in a long time. Okay. Really? I said, so did it work for you when you used it? And so now we're just, building a relationship and getting to know each other. And I'm finding out how they're doing as a person. And
Mhm.
from that, communication, now it buds and it turns into from that communication turns into a conversation. And oftentimes the conversation will then move into something related to the patches and something related to the business. And then a lot of times that person will be like, oh my goodness, I forgot about this patch or that patch. And I need to order some right now. And that just now happened with me and Oida. We were talking to a young lady and she wasn't thinking about, really putting any orders in or anything. And we called her and I'm telling you, she got excited. She put an order in for herself. And I was telling her just out of the blue, I just shared with her a testimony. I said, oh my gosh, Michelle, these testimonies are incredible. I said, we just got a testimony today about someone saying that the patches helped them with their varicose veins. And she said, oh my gosh, my daughter has this very serious problem with her veins. She was in a hospital. She's like, oh my gosh, I need to get some product for me, my daughter. And then the very next day, I think it was, she found one of her friends that wanted to order. And so now we're talking to her, we're meeting with her. And so it works out. It really does.
Yeah. And the thing is that it's amazing how you just have to bring certain things up. It just seems like for some reason God pours into you to say something you didn't even think about saying. And and now they didn't even think the patch would do that. But I tell you, thanks for that, because communication, you're right, is everything. Let's just start communicating with people, you guys. Like I said, this won't be a very long call, but does anybody else wanna chime in? That we get our energy from each other on this call. Does anybody want to chime in and make any comments or ask any questions? Okay, well, listen, I want you to know this Saturday on our training call at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central, I guess that's 10 o'clock Pacific. Steve and Gina Merritt will be hosting a call, and they're gonna do a tribute to our leader, Ken Robinson. For those of you who may not have heard, I don't know how you would not have heard, but we lost him last week. He passed. He'd been sick for a very long time, and we really did not even know this. He kept it to himself because he did not want to distract us. He didn't want anyone to feel sorry for him or anything like that. And he did it his way. And so, but we're going to be celebrating him with a tribute on Saturday. So please support that call. And we, thank you for getting on the call tonight. And so we will.
Perdita, I'm
Yes.
sorry, really
Uh-huh.
quickly, Jeff sent out a text message as well that he wants everybody to show up and show out for Ken on Saturday, I believe. I believe that the meeting is this Saturday. So yeah, I wanted to
At
mention it too.
the Hampton Inn off of the Jimmy
Yes.
Carter Boulevard exit in Norcross. Yes,
Yes.
is it 11 o'clock?
I think so. Yep.
11 o'clock, yeah. For those of you in Atlanta area, if you can make that meeting, bring your guest out. And we'll have to make sure we get that flyer to you. Let's see, is Jeffrey on the call? Normally he is, because I don't have no, he's not on the call, but the Hampton Inn on Jimmy Carter Boulevard in Atlanta at 11 o'clock on Saturday. With that being the case, you guys, this call is recorded. I'll send the recording out. Thank you all so much for chiming in. And we'll see y'all Saturday on that 1 o'clock call. And once again, let's get to these ranks so that we want to dominate the stage in Orlando. They're gonna know that we are thankful, and we're gonna honor Ken Robinson by being successful. So y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Perdita.
Welcome.